As my father said, a people without a knowledge of their history, origins, and culture is like a tree without roots. And I think that's very, very true. As you know, we've gone through, well, nominally 400 years of enslavement and colonialism when we've been disconnected from our past. So we have to recapture that to be whole people with an understanding of where we came from, what our history has been, what our culture, what our belief systems have been over a long period of time. And without that, then we can't really be truly human beings in an African sense.
It is with these words and a growing sense of belonging that many in the diaspora are looking to retrace their roots. The African diaspora consists of plus minus 140 million. The most populated countries in the African diaspora include Brazil, Colombia, America, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, with rapid population growth in Central Europe in countries like Germany and France. Of late, there has been a lot of talk around the repatriation of Africa's diaspora, and although no clear repatriation channels exist, some repats like Brian Wheeler took it upon themselves to make the long journey home.
From the moment I first read one of Marcus Garvey's books, I recognized that America was indeed the place that I was born, but there's a place from whence I came, and that place is Africa. Although I can't put my finger on a particular country where I can say is home per se, or I don't have a village that I could reflect on. So really every country that I step my foot on in Africa, I consider it home. So, starting in 2009, as soon as I got my master's degree, I just decided to try to find work in Africa. Unfortunately, trying to find work from Cleveland, Ohio on the internet wasn't that easy. So I made the decision to volunteer in Kenya. I volunteered in Kenya for almost 2 years, and then after working in Kenya for a few years, I decided to make the move to Namibia.
Immigration has been fundamental to economic success in the Western world, but for African nations to tap into the talent pools the diaspora has to offer, countries must be more accepting of migrants. Very few countries have made effort in this regard, except Rwanda, Ethiopia, and Ghana. Ghana's parliament passed a Citizenship Act in 2000 to make provision for dual citizenship. That same year, the country enacted the Immigration Act, which provides for a right of abode for any person of African descent in the diaspora to travel to and from the country without hindrance.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Picking up and moving children and family across the world is not an inexpensive endeavor. So fortunately, in my particular case, there was an organization that sponsored me, for lack of a better word. They bought some flights, provided us accommodation for a year and a half, and so we were able to work those first 2 years in Kenya. But I would say Namibia was extremely difficult. My first 8 months here, my residency status wasn't sorted out, so I couldn't legally work in the country. So after about a year, I was able to work and get myself settled. So it's not an easy endeavor, but well worth the effort, and 10 years later, I'm still here.
From Ghana's Year of Return to Ethiopia's recent Diaspora Trust Fund, more governments across the continent are initiating new efforts to effectively engage their diaspora in the development agenda.
I had an opportunity to be part of a group that we called ourselves the Door of Return. In November, a group of us came back to Africa, if you will, and visited Ghana, Senegal, and South Africa. And we were warmly welcomed in all three countries, but particularly in Ghana. And I think President Akufo-Addo there has done wonders in terms of his espousing the idea of the Year of Return, that Ghana put that forward. And it's brought many people to Ghana, certainly as tourists, etc., with billions of dollars being spent, certainly US dollars, and also with the opportunity for investment, people becoming informed about investment opportunities. So I think it's a takeoff point for Ghana. And I think Nigeria has been trying to, I wouldn't say copy, but do the same thing, and a couple of other countries are doing the same thing. So I think it's a great time.
These efforts have traditionally concentrated in Western-based diaspora communities. However, the rapid growth of regional diaspora communities calls for more engagement within Africa as well.
The destiny of all black people in the world, wherever they are, is bound up with Africa. Let me repeat that. The destiny of all black people in the world is bound up with Africa. And performing Africa elevates the status of all black people around the world.